I always like spiritually knew what's going on. I'm being honest, it was going on. A lot of them like one like I ain't House of Israel, like they came out of court, and then one of them I forgot the chief Ephraim, you know, I forgot.
Nah, he's mad. I'm gonna do a video on him, man. He's mad carnal.
Yes, he is. He's very carnal.
I think he's mad carnal, man. He's making us look bad, man. Because Esau don't know the difference, and even if they do, they're not gonna say, "Oh, House of Israel." Esau gonna say Hebrew Israelites.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? That's just witchcraft media. When people see you doing shit like that, shooting up guns and all that, they're gonna associate that with all of us. And they just got into a fight the other day, with beating up the Jewish people at Times Square. I'm like, oh, that's not even necessary. I expect to like if that happened to you or whatever, you expect like somebody who just come into the truth to make mistakes. You've been in this thing for a minute. Because the scripture says to be wise as a serpent, harmless as a dove. You don't win. They can end up hurting you, or even if you beat their ass, what happened? The cops gonna come lock you up. You gotta go to court. You gotta put up bail money. You gotta take time off from your job. Lose, and above all, you can't do the work. You can't. The work suffers, man. So why let these people have their short W's, man? Because they gonna say, first of all, there's angels here right now. They're recording everything, man.
Thank you for that. I'm be honest, I'm so new to this, and every time that we want to punch people in their face.
Yeah.
The most I be telling you, don't like. It was like it's a video we watched that I put up. It was a drunk homosexual, right? I'm reading the scriptures. They woke by. They said something. I was like, yo, all the women is gonna die. I gotta repent, something like that. And one of them was so drunk, he started twerking. And he tried to twerk on me. I would have went to jail if I would have punched him in his face.
Yeah.
Because before he started doing that, I was saying, I ain't gonna lie, like. I was like, yes, all back is like I hate them. I hate the Lord hates like that. So when he heard that, and he's one of them like stop judging, it's not a third, and I was like, listen, I'm not doing the work of the Lord. Once I said that, the faggot he abused that because he's where Travis is from? Simeon, I think it's from Travis Simeon.
Oh my God,
he came, he was like, I'm doing the work of the Lord too, and he started trying to dance on me like I swear if he would have touched me, like luckily he did not get to touch me. Like I backed up and pushed him like that. You feel me? If it would have happened, I would have probably really went to jail that day. And the cops was right across the street behind me like that. And he said that too. He was gonna vote me. He said that too because he was like, hit me. The cops right there hit me. Like, hey, yo, that's Satan right there.
That's a demon. Right. Yeah. But sometimes it happens. But a lot of the situations, especially with them, because they just carnal. Like I seen that video. They said we got something for Esau. And they started shooting at the gun. I'm like, what are you doing, man? Like, what are you
I seen that video from your page too. I remember I watched that.
Yeah.
And it showed me, because literally shortly after I watched that, probably like a month later, I went downtown, like I went over there to congregate with them, like how you preaching the word. I went there and I stood there and I was watching they push the word and all of that. And I stood there the whole
if you want to, you know what? If you go down there, if you do convert, they know the brother who make garments.
You
want a garment like this?
Yeah, I think I know. He mentioned that too.
Yeah.
He mentioned because there was another brother that didn't have no fringes. He said, "You know, my brother that made fringes and stuff like that."
So if you want to deal with them on that level, as far as getting a garment, yeah. But as far as like congregating with them and all that, nah, because they don't teach Rfid to the mark of the beast.
No.
That's another thing they're going off on.
What did they say it was? John 3:16.
Oh no, come on, man.
So Bob said that.
That was about bugging.
He said that too. That made no sense.
Bro, and he's way too knowledgeable for that, man.
Yeah.
Bugging. But yeah, they do. They're the ones who make the garments and whatnot.
And I kind of want to stab too. I don't know why I was going to stab.
Yeah, you could, but be careful with, don't try to use it as a weapon or.
I know.
You know what I mean? Like the least you have,
the better.
Yeah, the better, yeah. But yeah, they going with that carnal gun shit. Like that's not. The truth is not about that, man. And Yahawashi told, the disciple Peter, put your sword back in your sheath.
Yeah.
He that live by the sword shall die by the sword. That's what you mean to tell me you don't know that scripture, man.
And when I was over there that same day, I remember I was just like basically taking notes. Like I was like seeing how they teach and all that. I'm taking notes.
Yeah.
And I remember they said this like he basically It was like he was talking about Jacob's troubles and like that wasn't the topic, but he mentioned that like say if Jacob's trouble come, like basically if our people try to jump in front of a bullet for Esau, he was like, what if I'm trying to shoot Esau and you jump in front of a bullet, I'm gonna shoot you too. And I thought about it, I was like, wait, guns? Like that's what the first thought I was like, wait, they using guns? Like isn't that like what they call zealots in the Bible and all of that?
Yeah.
Those who rely on their weapons, that's carnal.
That's carnal, man. Like,
that's carnal, man. I'd rather spiritual power.
Yeah, like we say, like brothers say, like if you legally own a gun, there's no sin in that, but it's not a doctrine.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? There's nothing spiritual about you putting up videos you shooting in the gun range, man. There's no strength in that, man. There's no strength in that, man. And that's giving the wrong image to brothers, man.
It is.
That's the wrong image, man.
Especially new ones coming to the truth. They see that, but let me get some guns and you pack up.
Nah, man. You gotta spiritually get right with the Lord, man. The Lord gonna be your strength, man. What weapon did Jeremiah have, man? Jeremiah had no weapon, man. What weapon did the Apostle Paul have? What weapon Daniel had in the lion's den? The Lord had his back, man. You know what I'm saying? We don't need no guns, man. That's Esau's, that's his gift. Yeah, weapons, technology, nuclear, invisible tanks. That's his gift. The Lord gave him that. So we don't want that.
We're spiritual people, so we just stay spiritual.
Yeah. There's a whole book on spiritual. Them guys is carnal.
Yeah. And I was saying though, like a lot of camps are like that. A lot of camps are carnal. And I've been noticing it, like I'll be watching certain videos and they spirit will rub me off wrong. I was like, huh? For me, it just hit me. I was like, wait, hold up, like. That's why now, I'm gonna be honest, like, maybe just watch you, GMS, Living Waters, Solemn Assembly, Yahawashi will come back soon.
Yeah.
Those type of videos.
Yeah, all those are GMS.
Yeah.
That's what you push the elders' doctrine, elders GMS. And in other camps, they push like maybe 90%, but the two things they go off on is the chip. And some of them still struggling with Cornelius. I don't know why, but that's such an easy thing to get.
Yeah, it really is simple because no heathen nation is getting salvation, so Cornelius cannot have been a heathen.
Could not.
It has to be an Israelite. So it's kind of that simple, but I would like to. That's just me using my common sense. I would like to get the breakdown though, so I'm gonna watch that videos on that. I know y'all touched on that already, right?
Yeah, Cornelius. Yeah, because which I have videos on that, but pretty much, which I'll read some precepts here. What messed him up? It says he was Italian band. Okay, so what?
What the hell is Italian band?
Oh, Cornelius. There were Israelites in the Roman army. There's Israelites that are police officers now. Matter of fact, let me get that Acts 10 chapter.
Word of it. Yeah, well, you get that. That makes no sense because we definitely do have brothers that's in Esau's army right now.
Bro, you had Jakes that was tearing up the arenas back then. Spartacus was a Jake. I forgot the book where they mentioned it. Matter of fact, you even see it in a museum. You see like when they show you the ancient Olympics, you see like the races, some of them are white and some of them are real dark. And they're all naked, because that's how they did it in the Olympics back then. And you see the ones that are dark, they dominate. Those were all Jakes. Jakes following the Greek way of life, and that's why Paul was sent to Galatia and Ephesus, Rome, right to the church of Rome, Corinth. Those are the people that he was trying to draw into the truth. They were into the Greek and Roman way of life, just like our people today. So let me get Acts 10 real quick. The truth is bugged out, man. Let me see Acts chapter 10. I'm gonna just jump to some parts. There was a certain man in Caesarea called Cornelius, a centurion of the band called the Italian band. So by default, they think it's talking about an Edomite. First of all, let me read on. It says, a devout man, one that feared the Most High. So he could not have been an Edomite. With all his house, which gave him alms to the people, and prayed to the Most High always. He saw a vision evidently the ninth hour of the day. An angel of the Most High coming to him, saying unto him, Cornelius. And when he looked on him, he was afraid and said, what is it, Lord? And he said unto him, thy prayers and thine alms are come up for a memorial for the Most High. So how in the world could that have been another? When you read one precept, quick, Psalm 53.
Yeah, that couldn't have been an Edomite because he prays to the Most High always.
That's just, that alone right there should be like, nah, that can't be. Psalm 53. The fool has said in his heart, there is no God. Corrupt are they. They have done iniquity, abominable iniquity. There is none that doeth good. Verse 2. The Most High looked down from heaven upon the children of men, the other nations, to see if there were any that understand, that did seek the Most High. Every one of them is gone back. They're altogether become filthy. There is none that doeth good, no, not one. So Cornelius wasn't an exception. See what I'm
It
saying?
said no, not one. You're right. Yeah.
That's common sense.
Common sense.
And let me jump to verse 34, because the whole chapter, we know Peter met Cornelius, the angel sent him to the head apostle. And when he met him, this is what Peter said, Acts 10:34. That vision Peter had of the unclean beast coming down, that's to the Israelite foreigners. Okay? It was time for them to come into the fold. Alright? It wasn't just for the Jew only in Judea who knew they were Jews. People were scattered. They were scattered, yeah. Cornelius was the beginning of that. Verse 34, we're going to read, jump to the point. Acts 10:34. Then Peter opened his mouth and said, of a truth I perceive the Most High is no respect of persons. This trip them up to, this trip up to Christians. But in every nation he that feareth him and worketh righteousness is accepted with him. This they just stopped reading there.
Yeah,
further read on verse 36. The word which the Most High sent unto the children of Israel, preaching peace by Yahawashi Mashiach, the Lord of all. It tells you who's it talking about. The Israelites, man. That's it.
And the Israelites are scattered amongst all nations. So
All nations.
All nations. They're talking about the Israelites are scattered amongst all nations.
There you go. That's it.
Yeah, that's simple. That's simple.
That's simple, man. And it couldn't be no Edomite because number one, the Apostle Paul said, let's get Hebrews 12:16.
Yeah.
He said, let's add any fornicator or profane person as Esau, for one morsel of meat sold his birthright. For he knows that afterward, when he would have inherited the blessing, he was rejected. For he found no place of repentance. So, and people can't say, oh, that's only talking about Esau.
No, they're talking about Esau and his descendants.
That's why we're going to read Genesis, was it 36? The Genesis 36, verse 8. Thus dwelt Esau in Mount Seir. Esau is Edom. So when they talk about Esau, so the whole nation.
Yeah, the whole nation.
You see? So the whole nation was rejected. So Cornelius is not an exception to the rule. And it's not only Esau. The other nations have no part in this at all, man. Israelites were scattered, and we were scattered on this side of the world, and we coming back through the Lord. Simple, man. There was a huge rift back then between the Jew and the Greek, which you know the word there for Greek, right? Is Hellenists.
Hellenized Jews. Yeah. I didn't know that, but I heard about it.
This way you got to read the book of Maccabees.
Yeah, that's crazy. I mentioned that earlier. Yeah.
Book of Maccabees. I'm gonna read one precept. Second Maccabees 6. In fact, we can go through it now. Second Maccabees 6. It says, not long after, this is the king sent an old man of Athens to compel the Jews to depart from the laws of their fathers. That's when the Greeks came in. It's like 200 years or 300 years before the Messiah came. So they sent a Greek to tell the Jews to come, don't follow the laws of your fathers. And to pollute also the temple in Jerusalem, and to call it the temple of Jupiter, Olympus, and the Carazon of Jupiter, the defend of strangers, as they did desire that dwelt in a place. The coming of this mischief was sore and grievous of the people. For the temple was filled with riot and reveling by the Gentiles and natural Greeks, who dallied with harlots and had to do with women. So they actually brought harlots in the temple, Jerusalem. The circuit of holy places, and besides that brought in things that were not lawful. The altar was also filled with profane things which the law forbiddeth. This is the point too. Neither was it lawful for a man to keep the Sabbath days or ancient feasts, or to profess himself at all to be a Jew. So, and guess what? A lot of our people fell into that. We're going to follow the Greek customs.
What was that again?
That's 2 Maccabees 6.
Alright, 2 Maccabees 6. Alright.
Yeah. So they taught their children taught their children. So when the Lord and Paul came on the scene, they didn't know who they were anymore. Because they foreparents became Greeks, Hellenized. See? And that's what Paul's mission was, to go out there and to bring those Israelites back into the fold, man. But it started with Peter first. Peter had the first vision. It was started with Cornelius. But that apostleship, that office belonged to the Apostle Paul, because he was already familiar with those areas and he knew the language. You see what I'm saying? He knew Greek. And the scholars say he knew Latin. He was educated. So the Lord used him as a vessel to get those Israelites back into the flow. It wasn't just for the Jews in Judea. Israel is scattered. Israel is at the sand of the sea. You see what I'm saying? And now it's the same thing today. All of us were Gentiles. We all fell away. There was a falling away.
I grew up thinking I was black.
Yeah.
African American.
Yeah. So now we came back to who we are, man. And you got some Jakes in the military, some that. So it's the same thing with Cornelius, man. So and then you can go. Those Gentiles, you go like 2 hours, 3 hours. You can bring out a lot of precepts on Israel being scattered and being gathered again. You see what I'm saying? But that whole Cornelius thing, like we read Acts 10, the word of the Lord that he sent to the children of Israel. The scripture says Cornelius was devout and he was just. And there's no repentance for Esau, so it can't repent. It just don't add up.
And it said no, not one. So that one cannot have been on Cornelius that got repentance. So yeah.
No, not one.
Not one. So Cornelius cannot have been an Edomite.
That's why it says when you read Acts 2nd chapter, the Feast of First Fruits, Pentecost, and the disciples, every man heard them speak in their own language. That's Acts 2.
So it's a lot of things I gotta read still.
Yeah. And those Jews knew who they were, but they were in other lands. See? But then you had the flip side. You had our people who didn't know who they were, and that's the Apostle Paul and those guys' mission to bring them back. So I mean, that was, and Paul said it in the book of Romans. Romans is in Rome. So who did Paul effectively get Romans 10? Who was Paul talking about, man? How could everybody say Paul was the father of Christianity when Paul told you clearly who he was sent for? Romans 10:1. Romans the 9th chapter.
Yeah, I remember. I got that highlighted.
That's the Christian. That murders them right there, that Romans 9.
Yeah, it said that he was sent to brethren and his kinsmen who are
According to the flesh.
Yeah, according to the flesh, who are Israelites.
Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, who are Israelites. Which pertaineth the adoption. What's the adoption? Was it Galatians 4:4? And Galatians is what? Christians will read this and see? Who's Galatians 4:3? Even so we were children, were in bondage under the elements of the world. But when the fullness of the time was come, the Most High sent forth his Son, made of a woman, made under the law. She was purified. Who she had sent? To redeem them that were under the law. Who was under the law? The Israelites. Who he's writing to? Galatia. So there were Israelites in Galatia. That what? That we might receive the adoption of sons. They were Israelites. So that's what he said, Romans 10:1. Brethren, my heart's desire and prayer to the Most High for Israel is that they might be saved. And this is all for the church at Rome. So Israel was scattered everywhere. See? So there's no way, that the Edomites could be, Cornelius was an Edomite. It don't make sense, man. It don't make sense, man. It don't matter, man. So the chip and Cornelius, they be bugging out. truth is so easy to see, man.
Like I said, I learned about that before I even heard about this truth. Like the Rfid chip is the mark of the beast, and I was like still in the world. I was into conspiracy theories and stuff like that. And I heard about that, and I was trying to put my friends on, like, you don't take that chip, bro. You're gonna die like a fire, all of that. I was a Christian too in a way, but I never went to church. And once I heard this, it was a wrap. When I first heard this truth, I didn't even like. It wasn't like, no, you're lying, none of that. Some kid from my job told me straight up, like, he's seen I had like a zeal for knowledge. I was talking about mad conspiracy theories, FEMA camps. I knew about all of that. Rfid chips, all of that. I'm telling you all of that. And he told me like, you know your nationality though? And I was like, yeah, I'm black. And he was like, nah, you're Israelite. I was like, what? And I got hype. I was like, wait, what? Then I automatically knew that's God's chosen people. So I was like, yo, wait, some God's chosen. It's lit.
I was, yeah.
Yeah, I was like, it's lit. I'm saved. And he was like, nah, you're not saved yet. Then he told me straight up. He kept it a stack like, nah, you're not saved yet. You gotta repent and start keeping the commandments. He told me a lot of things I was doing when I was going off. And from there, I just with the research. And then next thing you know, a year later, it took me a minute to get fully right though, because the weed had me in a spell. It was like a spell I was on, like, you feel me? But I broke out of that. And I stopped cold turkey. And from there, I just started pushing the word, like, never look back. And I feel like a new man. It feels good.
That's it. That's being born again.
Yeah.
And it's a process. That's how everybody was when they first come in. You'd be like, what? Jesus was black? God is black? We the chosen people? Then you start telling that, and then you realize people don't have the same enthusiasm like you. Like, why would you want to be the chosen? Because they're not chosen. You know what I'm saying? Even though they are the chosen nation, they're not the Israel of the Heavenly Father. He don't want it. He want you. You see what I'm saying? This is a gift, man. This is the highest calling in the land, man. Highest. In the universe, I should say. In fact, that's in Peter. Telling everybody your friends, and they're like, yeah, you know.
That's exactly what I started. When I first learned this, I told my mom, I told a lot of my friends. They all were just brushing it aside, and I was getting mad. I'm like, I just started crying. It was like when I told my mom and she was not jacking it. She thought I was joining a cult. She told my sister, like, yo, you about to join a cult. And my sister called me, and that's how my sister went to the truth. My sister in there too, but like she still got some things to work on and all that. But my sister called me like, why mom saying you joining a cult? And I told her like, Yanni, I just learned the truth. I learned that we're Israelites, and I put her on, and she was listening. Like, she wasn't on my mom's side, she was on my side. Like, she heard. She's like, what? We're Israelites? What? She had to ask me questions and all of that. But yeah, bring it out.
No. Go into your testimony, brother. It's all testimony. I know you want to be on camera.
And once my sister, like, she started telling me, like, yo, you good and all of that, like, continue doing because I feel like this is the right thing. My mom still was on some other stuff, like, she like, basically, I was living with her in Virginia. I'm still living with her, so right now I'm trying to tell her about it before, because she'll keep me out.
You being wise, yeah.
And I ain't gonna lie, I never thought that day would come. My mom told me straight to my face, like, yo, continue bringing this up to me. This is my house, you're under my roof. And I said, wait, what? You kick me out? You feel me? She's like, stop reading them scriptures to stop. And she's a Christian who has a Bible in her room that's been collecting dust. So I was confused. I was like, why don't you don't feel this? Like, I feel this. And I got more deep into it. Many are called, who are chosen. It's not for everybody. Who's third one God, yada. And I was like, hey, man. It was in my mouth sweet as honey, but in my belly bitter.
Yeah.
I started getting sad, and I was crying and depressed. And that's when I was still smoking and all that. But then once I stopped, and it was a wrap for that. But my mom, she's still not into it.
She's not into it at all? She not even believe you a tad bit?
Only thing she believes is that Jesus is black and all of that, but she feels like she's saved already. She still wears pants. I told her you can't wear pants. She still wears pants.
Yeah, these women ain't gonna.
She still eats shrimp, and now she knows she'll sneak and eat shrimp. So she know I'm gonna try to like, she know I'm gonna rebuke her, right? Even though it's my mom, I'll tell her like, mom, you going off. You're not supposed to eat shrimp, stuff like that. So one day like, she cooked dinner without us being there. Like, I left, I don't know where I was at, probably playing ball or something. I came back, I didn't even smell it or nothing. Like, she cleaned up everything. The next day my sister told me, like, yo, you know mommy made shrimp yesterday? I was like, what? And she did it like secretly. Like, she knew she was going on.
Yeah, leave alone. At this point, because your blood is off your hands, you already warned your mom. You know, she might get saved because of you. You never know. Because we did read remember we talked about spiritual power last week. That's how a lot of people gonna really be sealed. That's when a multitude gonna come in. When they see certain acts, they gonna know, nah, this is definitely the truth. Now, for a lot of our people, the 2/3 is gonna be too late. But the Most High does have a 1/3 out there that's gonna be sealed by the the actual acts. When they see certain miracles performed, they gonna know. Now, matter of fact, let's read one. One of the Christians, one of the favorite ones, but this one was powerful. When he brought Lazarus back.
Yeah.
Was it John 11? And that's what's going to turn this truth to a whole nother level. And that's when Esau going to come after the prophets, man. That's going to be the real persecution. When they see certain acts being performed, they're going to like, nah, this is going to be shut down. That's when it's going to be a great persecution. See what I'm saying? And that's when the hunting going to begin. You know what I mean? Because that's how the apostles. So I'm going to read two examples now since you're here. And you know, was it John 11? Let's get it. John 11:25. It says, I'm going to skip through some parts. Now a certain man was sick named Lazarus of Bethany, the town of Mary and her sister Martha. We jump 3. Behold, the sister sent unto him, saying, Lord, behold, he whom thou lovest is sick. When Yahawashi heard, he said, this sickness is not unto death, but for the glory of the Most High, that the Son of the Most High might be glorified thereby. So Lazarus just got with it. He died, but that was really to glorify Yahawashi, that what? That people could believe on it. You see? And the Most High got them examples set up now. Got certain people specifically sick just for brothers to heal him. And when brothers heal him and glorify Yahawashi, other Israelites that see it, they gonna be like, nah, these guys are definitely the prophets. This is the truth right here. It's the same thing that happened back because you're dealing with a non-believing people. You see what I'm saying? So we can read. It says, we'll jump to some point. 14. Then Yahawashi said unto them, plainly, Lazarus is dead. I am glad for your sakes I was not there, to the intent he may believe. Nevertheless, let us go unto him. So I'm going to jump down to verse 21. Then Martha said unto Yahawashi, Lord, if thou hadst been here, thy brother had not died. But now I know even now, whatsoever thou wilt ask of the Most High will give it to thee. Yahawashi said unto her, thy brother shall rise again. Martha said unto him, I know he shall rise again in the resurrection at the last day. Yahawashi said unto her, I am the resurrection and life. He that believeth in me, though he were dead, yet shall he live. And whosoever liveth, believeth in me, shall never die. Believest thou this? But jump. Verse 32. Then when Mary was come, Yahawashi was and saw him. She fell down at his feet, saying unto him, Lord, if thou hast been here. So this is Mary. He was talking to Martha just now. My sister, my brother had not died. When Yahawashi saw her weeping, and the Jews also weeping, which came with her, he groaned in the spirit and was troubled, and said, where have ye laid him? They said unto him, Lord, come and see. Yahawashi wept. The Christians love that scripture, man. Then said the Jews, behold, he loved him. And some of them, could not this man which opened the eyes of the blind cause even this man should not have died? Yahawashi therefore again groaning in himself, coming to the grave. The point is coming up. There was a cave and the stone lay upon it. Yahawashi said, take ye away the stone. Martha, the sister of him that was dead, said unto him, Lord, by this time he stinketh, for it had been 4 days. And we know 4 means mercy. Yahawashi said unto her, said I not unto thee, that if thou wouldest believe, thou shouldest see the glory of the Most High? Then they took away the stone. And this is the point too. From the place when the dead was laid, and Yahawashi lifted up his eyes and said, Father, I thank thee that thou hast heard me. And I knew that thou hearest me always. But because of the people which stand by, I said it, that they may believe that thou hast sent me. You see? So that whole act was just for people to believe on Yahawashi. That whole thing was set up in the spirit. So we know that's going to happen again. Certain people are sick right now just for the elect men to heal it. And they gonna know, nah, these guys have the truth. That's when the bulk of the 1/3 gonna come in, the bulk. It says, and we approaching that time, man.
Yeah, it's around the corner.
Yeah. And when he had spoken, he cried with a loud voice, Lazarus, come forth. And you can imagine seeing that live, man.
Yeah.
He said, and even the Pharisees, when they heard about it, I'm gonna read it, they was like, nah, this is the guy. I'm gonna read it. It says, and he that was dead came forth, bound hand and foot with grave clothes, and his face bound with a napkin. Yahawashi said unto him, loose him and let him go. Verse 45, then many of the Jews which came to Mary had seen these things which Yahawashi did, believed on him. So after they saw him raise Lazarus from the dead, now they believed and said, nah, this is definitely the Messiah, because Esau with all his technology can't do nothing nowhere near that, man.
Yeah, not at all.
So when people see acts like that, bringing people back to life, they'll be like, oh nah, these are definitely the prophets, man. These are definitely, then your mom gonna be like, oh my God, I can't believe it. You know, she gonna tell everybody, yo, my son could do this, he could do that.
Cause she believes, like, it's like she believes in God and Jesus and all that. But then it's like, when it comes down to her, it's about keeping the commandments. She just don't want to keep the commandments.
Yeah.
Being honest.
Yeah.
But like you said something that sparked my interest. So if I continue doing the work, like, she may be able to get saved.
Yeah, the Most High know our hearts, man. And like I said, these Jews right here, they knew Yahawashi, but they didn't believe. But Yahawashi said, listen, the disciples said, listen, this whole thing with Lazarus is just for me and just for the Most High and to be glorified and to let them know that he sent me. So after they saw he did raise Lazarus, then they said they didn't believe this is definitely the Mashiach. This is him. Even the Pharisees, matter of fact, we're going to read it. It says, but some of them went their way to the Pharisees and told them what things Yahawashi had done. This is what the Pharisees said. Then gathered the chief priests and the Pharisees a council and said, and I'm saying wicked niggas back here today, what do we, for this man doeth many miracles? If we let him thus alone, all men will believe on him. We leave this man alone, eventually everybody's going to believe on him because of the acts. He said, and the Romans shall come and take away both our place and nation, which they did in 70 AD. And this is Caiaphas, the head guy, to show you was a wicked ass nigga. And Caiaphas back here today. And one of them named Caiaphas, being a high priest, that same he said unto them, he know nothing at all, nor consider it is expedient for us, it is helpful for us, that one man should die for the people, and that the whole nation perish not. So he knew Yahawashi was the guy. He said it's good for us that one man come and die for the people, and that the whole nation perish not. And this is what he said, it's also going to the Gentiles. And this spake he not of himself, but being high priest that year. It's by 2 and 1. He prophesied that Yahawashi should die for that nation, the Israelites, and not for that nation only, not only the Jews in Judea, but also he should gather together in one the children of God that were scattered abroad, the Israelite foreigners. So Caiaphas, he knew Yahawashi was the guy. What it is, he sold out to the Romans. You see, just like a lot of these black niggas, they know the evils that these they're not going to come out and tell the people because they will lose their position. All their goodies, their money, their houses, they will lose all that. You see what I'm saying? So they rather just, and the same thing with Caiaphas. So he knew when they heard he brought Lazarus this man or his parents that he was born blind. Like I know we always ask people, oh shit, how could he have sinned if he was born blind?
Yeah, so he's talking about his past life.
Yeah.
His past life.
They said, why was he born that way? Did he sin or his parents sin?
Yeah.
But the scripture says he was born blind. So he had to have done something. But Yahawashi broke it down. He said, Yahawashi answered, neither have this man sinned nor his parents, but that the works of the Most High should be made manifest in him. You see? So Yahawashi said, listen, the only reason why he's born blind is so that the works of the Most High could be glorified. You see what I'm saying? So he was born that way,
from his blindness.
and so people could believe. That's it. So like we say now, certain people are ill right now, just so brothers get healing, so the 1/3 could start believing. You know, everything you never know. Some spiritual problem may go viral. You see, and that's when Esau really gonna shut down YouTube. You may have a little bit of views now. You may look on that shit and there's 50 million views in one day, man. Like, damn. You see what I'm saying? That's when they really gonna shut this thing down, man. And that's when the persecution gonna come, man.
Now I'm gonna start to give you better understanding on this. Like, so right now you're mentioning the tabernacle of David.
No.
The part that's part of like 1,000.
Yeah, because we believe without seeing. You see, you gonna get the greater reward. 2/3 they gonna die because they were just. But some of the 1/3 gonna come in because they gonna have to actually see. You see what I'm saying? So the men who believe and don't see, they will get the greater reward of that power, man. Lord willing. Yeah. And I'll be seeing that number all the time in the most craziest of places.
Like I was walking
441. Yeah.
The train station.
Yeah.
The time was 1:45.
Yeah.
My phone said 1:44.
Yeah.
I started praying. I was like, I pray I'm be part of that number. Every time I see that, I pray I'm part of that number.
Yeah. You see that number, the most craziest. That's the whole side showing you, man. You just keep. Some brothers see chariots. Some brothers see that number all the time, man. Those are fake boosters, man.
Yeah.
Keep doing what you're doing, man. See? And that's what the Lord said, John 14:12. Verily, verily, I say unto you, he that believeth on me, the works that I do, shall he do also. And greater works than these shall he do, because I go unto my Father. So we're going to do greater works than the Mashiach. You see what I'm saying? For him bringing back that, we're going to actually, brothers going to be doing all kind of crazy things, flying, doing all kind of things,
That's the
man.
spirit. You just said that. I literally just thought that.
Yeah.
Flying. I used to have dreams.
Yeah.
Like I thought this when I knew the truth and all that, but this before like I fully came into it and started preaching and all of that.
Yeah.
I had dreams that I used to. When I mean all my dreams, I was flying, and I knew I could fly in my dreams. I couldn't really go to sleep just to fly. And my dream, I'd be flying, but when I used to fly, I used to do like a bird. Like I had to flap my arms like that and get away from trouble. It was crazy. And all these dreams, it was Jacob's trouble. It was all hell breaking loose in the law of society.
Oh,
So
really?
I used to be flying away from people. They trying to catch, they grab my feet while I'm flying up, trying to grab me like that. I'll fly up and I'll fly over buildings. I'll fly over my old school, my college, and all that. Literally flying.
So it was a chaos everywhere?
Yeah, I don't really. It's like this. Like it's like I knew it was chaos, and it's like you know the scripture says me desolate of men. So it wasn't a lot of people around, but it was like it's hard to explain. I can't remember. It was so many dreams. I had like 10 of these dreams that all talk about the same thing in a way. Like
Good.
one of them especially, I remember like, I was in college flying over my campus. Literally, I was flying over my campus, and I flew from my campus to like a little place in New York. Like I said in New York, like, not New York. And in the Bronx, I used to get weed from there. And I flew over there, and I flew up above it. You feel me? And it was everything is weird. It be symbolizing stuff like I don't know.
Now you know the understanding of it now.
Yeah, definitely.
See? Yeah. That's a beautiful thing, man. I'm gonna do a video on people's dreams and visions, man. Because even if you put it on YouTube, there's all kind of people with dreams and visions on famine, shit, martial law, they say aliens, which we know is chariots. All kind of.
I had one dream, right? The dream specifically that stood with me my whole, like yo, and I had this dream before I even heard the truth. So this was in the summer of 2017, and it's all spiritual. I'm 20 now, so at 20 years old, I came to the truth. The brother that was 17 years old at that time. 2017, I don't know. But look, 2017, the summer 2017, it was the summer. I was a Christian. I was a conspiracy theorist. I'm researching mad different stuff, Illuminati this and all of this, secret society this, yada yada, right? And what happened? In the dream, me and my friend Raymond was about to go 5-5 on a dime bag. In the dream, so we walking, and he never been to my crib in Harlem before ever. So in the dream, it was kind of weird. I'm like, what you doing up in Harlem, man? Like, he's like, we about to go 5-5. So me and walking, talking, laughing, about to go 5-5. We get to my building. It's a project building. So we get in my building, we start walking up the steps. Right, so we walk all the way up the steps, got to the 10th floor. As soon as we got inside my house, like open the, it felt real, like it really was happening. Open the door, got inside, and then as soon as I closed the door, he was already inside the living room. Right in the living room, like, look at this glass right here. Like, that was a view of the windows, like this glass right here. It wasn't like I didn't see the curtains that's usually there and all of that. It was just like a view. So then, like, he was standing in front of the window, right? Like, or some, pretend it's the window, he was standing there. And, like, as soon as I walked in the living room, I seen him, like, this window. I was looking at him, like, what you doing? Then he pointed. That's the only words he said in the whole dream. Basically, me, I'm laughing and all that, but he never really said nothing. And for me, it's like, it was weird. But one of the only words he said was like this. He pointed out the window, he was like, look. So he said, look. And I looked outside the window, and it's like I got close to the window, and I seen a big ball of fire with a ring around it. And the view was not the view of Harlem, the little park in the trees. I made a video on this too. It was a view of the whole New York City. I seen the Empire State Building, the Freedom Tower, all these different skyscrapers and all of that. The big ball of fire, it looked like the sun was coming down on the earth. And there was a ring around it, like the Jupiter's ring, but it was a fiery ring. And it was coming down like that. And as soon as they kept getting closer and closer, I was like this. I was looking at it, and I knew I was about to die. I was like, yo, I'm about to die right now. And then it just exploded. Boom. Once it exploded, like, I was like, no, God, please, not yet. You feel me? And as soon as I said that, I felt, like, I literally felt my body disintegrate. Like, I felt it in the dream. I woke up sweating and all that. I felt it. I was like, oh.
Yeah, I had a dream like that. I had a dream, a missile dream. This when I first came in. There was some kind of speakers. It was by the Brooklyn Bridge or something. And it was like, there's some speakers they announced the missiles are gonna hit soon. And people was running, panicking in the streets. And people started killing themselves early. I saw people like jumping from buildings. People was jumping over the bridge. I was like, damn. And then the missiles hit. And I could feel the heat. And then I felt like a hand like grabbed me from the back and shot me to the heavens. And then like in the heavens it was like a white door. Like a white door in the middle of the heavens. And right before I could reach it, then the dream ended. Just shut like that. I was like, damn, right there. Right in the dream I could actually feel, like you said, your skin disintegrate. I could actually feel the intense heat.
I felt that.
Yeah.
Yo, I felt that. And it's crazy because the dream I had shortly after that, right? I think it's cause basically your dream just now kind of seems like it sounded like you got delivered from that.
Yeah.
But the next dream I had, I was like, it was like what they call an astral projection when your body floats outside your body. So I had a dream I'm sleeping and then my body floated outside and I'm like myself, and then I floated through the window and it was like I was in Virginia at the time, so it was like a big tree, like in the middle of like the houses and all of that. So I floated next to the tree. Then I'm floating in the air just looking up and I seen like 3 UFOs. Right, so like 3 UFOs come and they shot that beam of light at me and I started going up to it. Like I was gonna get saved, but I had that dream right after I had the one I got destroyed. So I was like, yo, I gotta stop smoking, you feel me, before I die, you feel me, and then I gotta get right so I can get delivered. That's how I took it as.
Right.
But yeah, I seen like 3 UFOs and they was bringing me up.
Oh, that's powerful right there.
That felt good.
Yeah. That's powerful right there, man. Yeah, brother. Yeah, I'm gonna go and do a video on people's dreams, man. Because that's, I know if you've seen a brother, I think it was an Ephraimite girl who had a dream of the Lord's second coming.
I seen that video.
And
She was saying in Spanish.
Yeah, but couldn't really make out. Yeah, she was saying, but she looked troubled, man.
Yeah, she seemed terrified.
Yeah, she looked troubled in the spirit.
Yeah,
and she said, he's coming soon. He's coming for his people. She was shaken up. And the scripture tells you how terrible the day of the Lord is, man. See, that's why we doing the work and covering ourselves now, man. Because, man, these people, they don't fear the Lord, but they gonna fear him soon, man. Most High, he gonna open up some crazy things in Jacob's trouble, man. Crazy things, man. And everybody who said who had dreams of the martial art troops, They all said they look like foreign troops, and almost everybody said they look demonic, like they're super soldiers. You know what I'm saying? Like they may have the microchip in their brain, man, and they just programmed to kill, man. It's gonna be the scripture say he's gonna be a madman sparing none. You know, Esau is not playing, man.
He's not.
And we right around the corner from all that, man. This 2020 year, little brother coming up, quote unquote election. That's a big. We don't know what's gonna play out, man. We know there's got to be an attack coming soon.
Dude, the reason why I feel like something big gonna happen in 2020 is like back also when I was in the world, I was listening to a song NBA Youngboy made, right? And it was called Traumatized. And he said in his song, basically like the elites and all of them wanted him to sacrifice his son, right? And he said, I'm not gonna sacrifice my child. It was like 2020, we all gonna die. He said that like 2020, and that was like 20, like what, 18, 17?
Matter of fact, there was a show, I forgot the show on Netflix, but it was a secret society show, and he wanted to join a fraternity, and
I don't know what you're talking about. Burning sand, something like that? He wanted to join a fraternity? And they beat him and all of that?
Is it Burning Sands or is it called something like
that? Because it would've came up.
Yeah.
That was it. Bad.
And anyway, he wanted to join, and while he's talking to the guy, you see numbers on the blackboard. It says 2019 financial crisis, but you have to really look while he's talking to the main character. It says 2020 global crisis, like right behind it. And he's trying to get into some kind of fraternity. But on the blackboard, the camera don't really focus on it.
Yeah, but
you
can see it.
It's a subliminal message. It says 2019 financial crisis. It says 2020 global crisis. I was like, what the hell? And I rewinded. I say, yo, am I really seeing that? And you know, they put things hidden in plain sight. So I say, yo, 2020 got to be a major year, because 2020, that's when they're going to bring out the real ID. This election year. So, and something got to be happening. Something got to happen soon, man.
My mom got that already. She was telling me my sister did the real ID, and me and my sister like, nah, you ain't getting a real ID. We don't need a real ID. I don't need none of that.
Yeah, the real ID, if you want to travel with your New York State ID, whatever the case is. I don't know what's the point in upgrading that. I don't understand what.
It's I think it play a part in like the FEMA camps, like how they got it like mapped out, and people can be stuck in wherever they at in their state.
Yeah.
Without the real ID, they would sound like be like able to go state to state and all of that. Without it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like
you won't be able to travel. You only be that's just to make no. I mean, it's just great. And then we see the Omni Metro card, which is already officially out. The contactless payment, the MTA, they got it like in Lower Manhattan, but they said by 2020 they're gonna have a lot.
I think what you're talking about.
Like there's gonna be no more Metro card after a while. They said 2022, which Lower will be out here way before that.
Yeah, I want to be about it before that.
But they said they want to phase it out completely. They don't want that paper card.
What they gonna be using instead of
your phone. So you gotta go to it, dude. You go in. Or the chip.
That's the chip.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's all prepping people for the chip. The microchip is here, man.
And those that think the chip is a reference.
Now we know there gotta be an event to speed things up. It has to be some kind of terrorist attack that's gonna speed things up. That's gonna cut the time short. See what I'm saying? Because that's how Esau gonna bring his new terror. And this young boy, which them wicked ass niggas, they less the luminaries, so they tell them what they're about to do.
Yeah, I noticed that. Like, once he said that, I was like, yo, that means you probably overheard a conversation when you was with the elites or whatever the case, whatever you're doing, being a sellout.
The further they move up in their brotherhood, they probably let them know, yo, we're gonna crash the economy. Yo, because I remember they showed Prince, he made a song where he talked about 9/11 in '98. He said, Osama gonna drop them bombs. Osama gonna drop. And I'm like, I'll say, yo, he knew about it way before. Who else knew about it? The Simpsons showed it.
Jackson knew it too.
Yeah.
It was signed on what album? I think it was Blood on the Dance Floor. And the album cover, the background showed New York City, then it showed for the Twin Towers of Beaver, Smoke. You remember Smoke? He knew about it too. A lot of that's crazy, man. So So a lot of them know about it already because they move up in the brotherhood and all of that, and then they'll allow them to know certain things they're about to do.
Yeah.
Because if they talk about it, they're gonna get killed.
Yeah. Because I saw this guy, this police officer, who said that whole thing election. He said that's the biggest joke in all of America. He said who they listen to, all these politicians. He said they listen to the Rothschilds. He said that whole thing, Democrat, Republican, is smoke and mirrors. He said the Rothschilds, he said it's the top family on the planet Earth, we already know. And he said there's a seat in their house. He said when you go up in the brotherhood, he said the first 32 degrees is called bullshit. You get to the 33rd degree, then they teach you everything you learn is madness. Then they basically let you know what Freemasonry is. It's basically witchcraft, demon worship. Then he said you learn about the political system. Start learning that all these politicians are Masons. And he said that the Rothschilds, they have an actual, he said in their house, they told him this as he moved up. They're the head family on the planet Earth. And he said they deal directly with Satan. He said there's a room in their house where they communicate exactly with spirits. They communicate with the devil directly. And he tells them what to do and what not to do, and it filters down to these to different corporations, to these bankers, all the way down to these politicians. So all that thing is smoke and mirrors. That's all written already. Who's gonna win? Who's gonna? So all that thing is all madness, man. Which we already know. When you learn about the truth and you learn about secret governments, you learn that's all a sham. Man.
Yeah.
See?
And I always had a feeling about that too, like.
Which that might be Esau himself, the Rothschilds, man.
Yeah.
See? He said that's the top family on planet Earth, and they have to listen to them. See? He said they control everything, man. Now who tells them what to do? Spirits. They consult with spirits. They consult with familiar spirits. So people talking about they don't believe in God and all that. The head family on the planet Earth believe, they know these demons are real, man. They know the Most High is real. They know the prophecies, man. How these directors making movies like Brightburn and Godzilla.
Yeah.
They know it's real, man.
And I was about to show on Netflix called The Colony.
Yeah.
That symbolized like a lawless society, martial law and all of that.
And I think the UFOs come, right?
Yeah.
So they know the prophecy, man. That's why anything now talking about the so-called Jew, the fake Jew, YouTube automatically is pulling it, man. They pull those videos automatically, man. Because I think 3 of those 4 videos I made was getting on the fake Jew, and YouTube pulled it.